Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an all new episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives, December 11, 2025. So we start off with, Xander and Marlena. So Xander is there to pay Marlena a visit, check in on her because he wasn't able to do that the first time because of what happened to Sarah. So she thanks him for the flowers as well, and she asks him what's going on with them. And he said that he officially signed the divorce papers. He regrets it, but at the end of the day, he gave Sarah what she wanted and even full custody of their daughter. So he can't even visit her, which I just find it absurd because yes, they don't have to be linked together, right? They don't have to like see eye to eye or talk to each other or whatever. But let him be a father to his daughter. Like his daughter probably miss him and all of that. Like let him be a father. I don't see why he cannot have visitation rights. That's just crazy to me because he has made a great, tremendous effort to go to therapy, work on himself. He has definitely grown a lot. The old Xander would have even been resentful for the fact that Sarah is spending time with another man, yet it be his own nephew Brady. And he finds it really bad because, Brady was the one who pushed him to get a divorce and, give Sarah what she wanted. And then for him to just spending time with her a lot, he feels sad about it and he feels like he will never move on from Sarah. He will never find love again. And I'm saying, Xander, you are a great catch. Don't let nobody else tell you or diminish your worth. You're worthy of somebody else greater and better than Sarah. And I really hope that they would just stop putting you and Sarah together for you guys to be apart. Just move on with your lives, honestly. And you deserve better because she will never accept you for who you are inside and out, flaws and all, because she doesn't feel like her shit stink. And that's just the honest truth. Marina is proud of him and his journey, as am I, as of some of us. And keep going, Xander, because Xander has definitely, he definitely has turned a new leaf. I am proud of him. So Gabby and Javi, they're having a meal, checking out the design for Leo's wedding band. And he appreciates her doing that because he knows that she and Leo, they didn't see eye to eye at first, but now, she's gotten to liking him a lot more, respecting him more, especially since he became adopted father to Cesaro and also his jokes. So she appreciates, him stepping up and really changing. She still won't be friends with him because she doesn't think that it's too soon for that. So he says, do you think that he'll be a great husband and all that? So she said, I hope he will be, but of course, she still has her reservations about him. He says, look, I think Leo has changed for the better. He'll make a great husband. He was a great father to little T, and they talk about the mirrors missing and all of that. And Gabby's saying, is the fact that she was at a business meeting with Theo the other night and that he turned up missing. So Javi is just skeptical again, thinking that Gabby might have anything to do with his disappearance. Maybe she wants to go into the Mira CEO position based on what she told him the other day. So he's saying, did you have anything to do with it? So she said, no, like you're accusing me again. Like I have nothing to do with it, I swear. So he said that I just don't want nobody else to go away from me. I miss little T. And she understands and she just swears to him that, look, I understand you're going through a lot, but just know that I am not going to jeopardize my freedom for anything and I'm not going to leave, right? I'm not gonna leave our family at any time. So Jada and Rafe are back at his place, and it's been a while since they've been there because things have just been awkward between them, and they're there trying to get back into the flow of police business. So they're sharing their findings on what's going on with the mayor's disappearances, and she's thinking maybe it has something to do with EJ. EJ wants to get back into the mayor CEO position. That's why he took Tony and Theo, but they don't have no proof. But they're also trying to find out like what's his beef with Chad because him and Chad are cool and Chad has no position in the business, so it just don't make no sense. They still are trying to like connect the dots with him. So they also look at the picture that Rafe got from Kat, which is the picture of the Demare basement with the cot and the clothing, and they're wondering like somebody must have been down there, just trying to be a stowaway. And Jada's trying to go investigate that. So Rafe also brought up the part about her and Theo, that they were supposed to meet for trivia night, and Jada told him like, yeah, we were supposed to be on a date. So Rafe is like, oh, which I was saying that too because like I just still can't get through the idea of her and Theo being an item. It just doesn't make sense to me. Her and Rafe were more of a better couple. I was really rooting for the two of them to get married, have a family. Like, it's about time somebody give Rafe a child, honestly. So Johnny and Chanel are in the square talking about the mayor's disappearances, and they are just worried about how it might affect their family and hoping that things turn around soon. Chanel takes the baby elsewhere, and Johnny sees his father. So his father saying it's a happy coincidence because he was just gonna go over to his apartment and check in on him given the recent news. So Johnny's like, well, we don't want you around there. And he said, I just wanted to know that you're safe. So he said, now you see me, now you can go. So he said, there's other business, like with them disappearing, maybe it's time for you to take the Demir CEO position seriously. The division heads can hold off, but like we need somebody that can, attribute to the like stability of the company. And that seems like it could be you. Like, you're more than capable. So Johnny's saying like, I can't believe that you're more concerned about the bottom line rather than our family members are missing, right? So they're there going back and forth, and Chanel comes over. Chanel's like, what's going on? So Johnny fills her in, and Chanel is like, absolutely not. So the fact that I defended you to my mom and said that you are capable of a lot of things, but not to hurt your own family, and this is what you're talking about with your own son. You want your son to take over a company that um is not really pressing compared to what's going on with you guys family members. So absolutely not, and I want you to stay away from us, right? So EJ saying, you're really gonna let your wife talk to me this way and decide for you. So Johnny saying that, look, we are in solidarity, right? We stand together on our decisions, we make them together, and that's final, right? So you can see your way out. So EJ just makes about Chanel and everything, and he just walks away. They go home, and they think about the baby's first Christmas, and they think about their family disappearance and how it's really somber to celebrate anything given Theo's missing and all that. So Johnny said, let's celebrate regardless, and they put the ornament on the tree. Now we go to Brady and Sarah. So at this point, you know Brady's officially moved into the mansion. He's there, and you know, he's in a towel, and we know once again, where this is gonna lead to. So he goes out to the hallway, he sees Sarah, it's all embarrassing at first, and he said he was thinking nobody would be in the hallway. He wanted shampoo. Sarah said that she'd help him, and Sarah said, look, I'm used to seeing naked bodies or half naked bodies. I'm a doctor, blah blah blah. So it's all embarrassing, and Brady thinks to get a robe, and Sarah is just embarrassed at what she even just said to him. At some point, he goes downstairs, he sees her and Victoria playing. He's smiling. He says, I remember those moments with Rachel. And she's like, how is she? So he says that, Rachel is good. She, just doesn't like the institution that she's in. And, she has to do a lot of therapy there. And, she's guilty at what her mom had to go through, taking the fall for her with EJ shooting. And also, she feels bad about how she hurt Sarah, right? So she sent her a letter apologizing for, her hurting her, and that she actually likes her and to forgive her, right? So Sarah said, there's nothing to forgive. I'm good. Just know that we're praying for her, and, she will get better. And, she also tells Brady to confide in her, and his feelings are valid as well. So he said that it's just a lot going on, and that he just wish he can do a lot more for her, and that she's just there at the institution when she should be home for the holidays. And Sarah holds his hand, and they almost kiss, and Victoria's train interrupted them. Again, I'm not here for these two. Like, again, they have zero chemistry, but I guess maybe they deserve each other because they're both self-righteous and feel like their shit don't stink, and I can't stand that for 1 second, right? So moving on to Jada and EJ, right? So Jada comes over there. She has a warrant to search the place again, and he's annoyed because she already did that initially. And she said, look, I need to find out once and for all what's really going on, if you're linked to what's going on with the mayor's disappearances. And he's saying this is trespassing, this is harassment. So she said, deal with it, and, shows him the warrant. Nothing is there. Seems as if the cotton clothing, magically disappeared. She ends up having to tell Rafe that it's not there anymore. And EJ probably, was tapped to say, okay, so the police are coming over, clear the room, right? So she also told Jada, she also told Gabby earlier about her and Rafe working together, and it seems like old time. It's a little awkward at first, but it was all cool with them working together, and Gabby's happy to hear that, right? So Javi speaks to Rafe when he gets home about what he knows about the mayor disappearances. He didn't really want to tell him at first, but Rafe, got it out of him that, Gabby, help Tony get by the position at the mirror, right? Well, get by the company per se. So he asked him, like, how did she help him do that? So, Javi said he doesn't know all the details, and he said, you know what, maybe I don't need to know, but like, why would Gabby want to disappear to Chad? Like, they have a bit of history, but she's cool with him, and it just doesn't seem, like she would do anything to jeopardize her freedom. And furthermore, like, Gabby would, seem to have motives. So I just really don't want to go through this again. So Harvey politely he bolted out of the door, right? And then Gabby comes in, and Gabby's saying, what's going on? So Rafe says, hey, did you have anything to do with Theo and Tony's disappearance? Did the mayor's disappearances overall? So she said, no, like, we're going through this again. Like, I am tired of being accused. Like, did Harvey tell you anything? Like, where is he? So he said, just answer the question, yes or no. So she said, no, I have nothing to do with it. And I'm just feeling bad for Gabby because she has to always go through this. It's really redundant at this point. But anyways, guys, comment below your thoughts on today's episode. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys tomorrow.